Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Val Fashion's YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. Thank you for clicking on this video. If this is your first time of stopping by my channel, please consider to subscribe and also ensure to put on your notification bell so that you get notified once I post a new video. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for coming back. So today we're going to be learning how to make these beautiful ruffles you see on the shoulder of this blouse. I hope this is what you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned while we get right into the tutorial.
So these are the materials I need to achieve my ruffles. I have my doll face satin that I'll be using to create the ruffles. Then I also have my crinoline that I'll be using to help the ruffles stand well. And then also you need your basic sleeve. So here is my basic sleeve. I've cut it out already. So if you don't know how to draft the basic sleeve, I'll be dropping the link in the description box so that you know how I arrived at this basic sleeve. So I'll be cutting small flares. These flares are going to be 360. That's a full circle. There are several ways to draft this ruffle, to make this ruffle sleeve, but I'll be using this because this is the simplest and this will save your fabric. So now to fold my fabric, I need to have what I need a length of 4 inches for my ruffles, both for sewing allowance and for the joining allowance I'll be using to attach it to the sleeve. So at the end of the day, when I am done, I'll have 3 inches. So now if I'm working with 4 inches, the radius of my circle I'll be using 2 inches. So that's a total of 6 inches. So here now I have my 6 inches. So having 6 inches this way, you can see that is on fold. So of course that's 12 inches. Okay, so that's 12 inches, and this way too I'll be looking for another 12 inches so that I can fold into 4. So I'll just fold it over like this. You see, I'll fold it over like this, and then I'll go ahead and mark here from this folded point, that's the apex here. I'll mark my 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. So and then I'll go ahead and mark the length of the flare. I said I want to have a length of 4 inches. This is my 4 inches, 4 inches this way. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut out on this radius. Okay, I'll cut out here on the length. Okay, so now can you see that I have, let me notch this part like this to indicate that this is the center. So can you see that I have a full circle? Can you see that? So I need several of this. I'm going to keep placing and cut as much as I can get here. For each one, I need, now I'll be using the satin to also line it. So I'm going to cut several and then show us the next thing. So I'm done cutting out my circles. I have 8 pieces in all. So all I need to do now is to come here. Can you see how it is folded into two like this? I'm going to just pick one side. Take note of how it is. This is what I have as a full circle. Then you come here and pick one of those two folded parts and slash it open. So I'll have 8 pieces in all. So 4 will be for one sleeve and 4 for the other sleeve. One will have to serve as a lining for the other. Okay, so now these are the two that will be working together, and these two will also be together like this. So now the next thing to do is to pick up my crinoline and be sewing it to the part that will serve as the lining. So now you can see I have 2 of this and 2 of this. So I'll pick this one. This one will serve as my lining. I'll place the crinoline on the wrong side of my satin, ½ inch away from the hem. So I'm going to sew it like this, all the way to this end. And you don't want to pull on the crinoline. You can see that it's curvy. Okay, so you just place it ½ inch away from the hem like this, I sew it all the way to that end. So you want to use your masking tape to cover up this place, or you use bias to cover up this place so that it doesn't poke the skin. So I'm going to do that for the two that will serve as the lining and come back and show us. You can see I'm done sewing my crinoline to the base of the ruffle, and I sewed ½ inch away from the base, that's from the hem here, and then I went ahead to top stitch it. I used my cotton bias to tape down this part to avoid poking the skin of the person. This is what it looks like on the right side. Can you see? Can see I top stitch it and it's looking all neat. So now the next thing I'll be doing is to bring the main fabric. Remember I said that this will serve as the lining and this will serve as the main fabric. So I'm going to place it like this, right side facing right side, and then I'm going to flip it this way. I'll be sewing from the wrong side. So right side facing right side, I'll be sewing from this side so that I can make sure to sew on this ½ inch that I left here as my sewing allowance. So I'm going to sew all the way to this end and then I'll show us. So I'm done sewing them together. Can you see what I have? And then I also went ahead to close up the sides here, also this side. So the next thing I'll be doing is to turn it out to the right side. I have, after giving it a good press, can you see? This is what it looks like. This one also. So now what I'll be doing is to top stitch this side, and then I'll take it to my weaving machine and just weave this tip. You don't want to leave it to be rough. You can do it in two ways. You can either just fold in this part and then top stitch, but this will not be very easy because remember that it's a curved area. So all I need to do, I'll just top stitch this side and then weave it, and then I'll show us how to attach it to the sleeves. So now I'll fold my sleeve into two like this. I want this ruffles to be at the cap area of my sleeve. So I'm just going to measure here from the center front of my sleeve. I'm going to measure up to 4 inches. So and then I'll go ahead and notch this point. So this is where my 4 inches is. I'll notch it. So I'll open up my sleeve like this and I'll bring my flare. So I'm going to pin the ruffle here at this point like this. This is it. And then I'll pin at this point also. So I'm going to be distributing this here. I'm going to just pleat it nicely. So I'll just get the midpoint also by folding like this over like this. This is so that my pleats can be even. And then also get the midpoint of my sleeve here too. So I'll come here and place this midpoint to midpoint, and then I'll pleat it towards this direction. You see? So I'll pleat 1 inch towards this direction, and then use my pin to hold it down, and then I'll pleat again. I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side. So I'm going to pleat this one now towards this direction. Okay. And then I'll pleat the last one here like this. So this is what I have on my sleeve here. You see, this is what I will have. So for the second one, remember that I have two. So I'm just going to also come here and pleat it also, just the same way I did this, so that I can just have them on this point. So I'm going to do the same thing I've done, but this will be under this part, and then I'll show us. So you can see I've pleated it to the down part. All I did was to come down by 1 inch, and then I created my pleats. I made sure that it doesn't exceed where this one is so that they both stay together. So this is what we have. Can you see how nice it's looking? So if you want to have more than this, for me, I just want it to be on the cap area. If you have to have more than that, you can keep creating it, but this is just perfect. So now I'm going to shift like this. I'm going to shift this one over like this, and then I'll be top stitching it this way. I'll sew the second one first before I'll sew the first one, because this first one is the one that will go into the armhole of my client. That's into the armhole of the Igbo blouse I'm making for it. So I'm just going to sew this part. I'm done sewing it. This is what it looks like on the wrong side. My needle and thread, I just tack a little, just to give that fullness and closeness around here. So I'm going to fix it to the blouse, and then we'll see what it looks like on the